Hello everyone. Sorry I'm a bit late to the party in this one, but I was really tired yesterday, and it's been a very eventful past few weeks for me. In any case, I was never going to let a new trailer pass me by without giving it an analysis, so let's take a look. We start with an opening voiceover from Percy as he talks about his prophetic dreams. They were a staple of the series, even outside the Greco-Roman world, allowing Rick to do some foreshadowing of upcoming events, or offer Percy some information he would not otherwise know. And we start with Percy dreaming in what I'm thinking is the big house, and I'm guessing this scene is where we get the later shot that we have already seen of Kronos bursting in. It's followed by this shot of Percy at camp, and he's wearing his bead from last year. Our next set of shots starts with one we've already seen with Grover on the beach of what is most likely Polyphemus' island, and he's getting dragged away by a tentacle from a monster. We see Scylla and Charybdis later, so this must be a different monster. Next shot, he's on the ground in his school uniform, presumably trying to make it to camp. Then we see a giant trying to kill him, and then we see Luke trying to kill him. And Percy wakes up falling out of his bed. And his room is appropriately ADHD levels of messy. And we get a good look at his mirror, which, as pointed out by the Olympus report, he has a photo of Grover on it, that we even see later in the trailer. My personal theory is that these shots are from inside Percy's dream when he sees this happening to Grover before he wakes up, courtesy of Kronos jump-scaring him. The next few shots jump to the chariot with the Grey Sisters, and Annabeth asks if Percy has been having dreams. Percy asks if this is about Grover, but Annabeth says it's about camp. And next we see what Annabeth's dreams were warning her about, the Stymphalian birds attack, either during or right after the chariot race. We see Mr. D in this shot here emphasizing the danger the camp is in, like he actually cares. Then we see the last Dragonian giant forming a flaming ball out of the earth. Nice attention to detail. Before hurling it at camp, where it is stopped by the barrier from Thalia's tree. Next we cut back to the Grey Sisters, who only have one eye, and as they correctly point out, so does Tyson. Apparently Percy and Annabeth discover what he is a bit sooner than they do in the book. When our heroes finally make it to camp, it's just in time to see Luke poisoning the tree. In the book, we didn't get to see him doing this, and he used elder python venom to do it. It looks like he's using a sword to do it here, so is the sword coated in elder python venom? And then he rides off on a Pegasus that is absolutely Blackjack. In the books, you may remember, Blackjack really started to play a role in Book 3, but he did show up first in Book 2, when Percy freed him from Luke. In the show, you might remember Percy saw him all the way back in Season 1. Next we see a couple shots of Percy talking about the barrier, and how it falling would mean the end of camp. But for the time being, it's still working at keeping the giants out. Mr. D and Tantalus are both here, but as you might remember from the book, neither of them is really as concerned about camp as the demigods are. We cut to Grover having been captured by Polyphemus, who is looking like a sheep herder with that staff. Again, nice attention to detail. Then we cut back to Tantalus, who is holding a spear. Then we get a good look at Clarice picking up a spear of her own. Judging by the electric lights in the previous shots we've seen in the trailer, I'm guessing this is the SS Birmingham. And following this, we see Tyson in the engine room, and a map to the Sea of Monsters. But we also get this shot of Annabeth and Clarice on what looks like the Princess Andromeda. I'm not sure when this takes place, but if I had to guess, it's at the end of the season while Percy and friends are running away with the fleece, and Luke is in hot pursuit. The next set of shots are all of Clarice on the deck of her ship, accompanied by her zombie crew. As previously discussed, they aren't all Confederate soldiers, even though the ship is from the Civil War era. We see Percy and Annabeth get on the deck to try and help, and then we get our first good look at Scylla, who has been seen in several trailers and a lot of other promotional material for the show. We finally get our first shot of Thalia Grace, and you can tell it's her because she's holding the Aegis shield. If you're paying attention, you can even see a lightning effect on the shield. Then we get Annabeth shrinking away from these rock monsters. I've seen other fans, including the Olympus report and the damn meme page, who think that these are the sirens, which could certainly be true. We see Annabeth on the deck of a ship which is clearly not the SS Birmingham or the Princess Andromeda, before turning around to see them, but then we see her on what looks like the shore of an island. Does she actually swim all the way there in the show? Also, if these are the sirens, why don't they look like bird women? Is this a budgetary change or an illusion? Or are they another monster entirely? Then we finally see Circe, followed by Guinea Pig Percy. Ares is here talking to Clarice in what looks like a scene just before she embarks on her quest. Then we see the sarcophagus that holds the remains of Kronos. And Kronos apparently wants Percy dead now. This is a bit of a shift from Season 1, where Kronos wanted him to be kept alive so he could fulfill the prophecy, but maybe this adventure convinces him that Percy will never join him, and his focus may have shifted to another child of the Big Three. If you know, you know. Next we see more shots of the Princess Andromeda and the heroes making a run for it. Percy doesn't have the fleece here, so this is most likely when they accidentally boarded Luke's ship towards the beginning of the story. Then we get more shots of the chariot race along with Tyson fighting with a trident. In a previous trailer, Tyson used one of these to defend Percy from Luke, so maybe it became his signature weapon. Then we see Luke marching on camp. We also see Hermes, Sally, and Poseidon talking to Percy at what I'm guessing is the end of the season. This is a change from the book as Poseidon doesn't directly show up there. He only sends Percy a letter at the end telling him to brace himself. Poseidon not directly showing up was really important to the book because Percy had to get used to his father being distant from him, but knowing the sea god would help when he could, like sending the hippocampi. So this looks like another big change. The final scenes of the trailer are of the battle with Scylla and Charybdis. Now I want to take a moment to talk about the battle with Luke at camp. In the book, Luke never made it to camp. Instead, Percy only fought him when trying to escape his ship. Twice. Which does happen in the show, but the lighting in these scenes looks completely different than when Luke poisoned Thalia's tree in the beginning. So it looks like this is Luke's final attempt at stopping the fleece from reaching camp. Also, there's the emphasis put on his sword, which looks asymmetrical. Which I didn't realize even in Season 1 was asymmetrical. This is technically a change from the book, but not an unfitting one. Minor spoilers up through Book 4. Backbiter is actually the scythe of Kronos, and it just changes shape when Kronos wields it. So the sword showing a partial curve on one side is a fitting hint at what it really is. If you watch my Riordanverse ranking videos, then you know that The Sea of Monsters is not my favorite book in the series. But this trailer has me really excited. I'm a bit nervous too, just because of all the changes made in Season 1, and everything from the book that we haven't seen in any of the trailers, such as the Hydra and the Hippocampi. Show me rainbow, you cowards! But I'll withhold judgment until I see it. As a quick update, my channel has seen huge growth this past year, and even this past week. In fact, it's the most rapid subscriber growth in the history of my channel. I'm very happy about all this. Thank you all so much. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. But there have been some other things on my mind lately. I never set out to make a channel that was solely focused on one series or even one medium. In the past, I've extended books to manga and by extension the anime based on them, and I'd like to start making videos about my favorite cartoons and very occasionally video games. I'm trying to monetize my channel, so it would be good for me to do this since those sorts of videos often get more views on YouTube, but I also want to keep making Riordanverse, Wheel of Time, and other book series videos, and I worry I may be segmenting my audience. A lot of you do seem to enjoy my LGBTQ book videos. I'm very happy about that, and I'm going to make more videos like those. But with all that in mind, I can't really afford to make several episode reviews for a TV series that I know only a fraction of my audience will watch. Earlier this year, when the Wheel of Time Season 3 was coming out, you might remember I solved this problem with YouTube Shorts, but now I think it's time for something else I've been planning on for a while. I'm going to start a second channel for videos I know won't do as well in the algorithm, such as episode reviews. Depending on future video performance, I may move other types of videos there as well. I am open to suggestion on this, so I'd like to hear what all of you think in the comments below. I'm thinking of calling it something like The Second Mythos Archives, or The Mythos Archives' Second Location. But if one of you has a better idea, I'd love to hear about that in the comments as well. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I am Kylan Mythos, and I will see you all next time.